Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Monica Kangethe, all the way from Kansas, and we are coming live from Kansas City to report on what Queen's Ministry is. And with me tonight is Dr. Catherine Franklin, all the way from Dallas, Texas.
What exactly is Queen's Night?
Yeah, a Queen's Night, Dr. Catherine, is a ministry that brings women together from all corners of the world, from all status quo, regardless of what they do or where they are coming from. They are all embraced, they are all loved. This is a stage where women come to connect, women come to showcase their gifts, to showcase their talents, and accepted for who they are. You know, there are women who have not heard from anyone that you look beautiful, but Queen's Night affirms the beauty regardless of how or whatever they are going through. At Queen's Night, everyone is beautiful in the eyes of God. And this Queen's Ministry empowers women socially, physically, spiritually, economically, and psychologically. And it sets a stage for connection. Different women come, they meet, they laugh, they exchange their numbers and careers, you know. It's just a good way of connecting.
Amen. That sounds fantastic. And I've gotten to meet wonderful women, at different Queen's Nights that I've attended. I've gotten to meet women who hadn't had information of something that I might have needed or a business I was looking into. And so, as we said, it is really a great place to meet others and to fellowship with other women. So, what does Queen's Night accomplish, Pastor Monica?
Queen's Night accomplishes a lot, especially on empowerment. When a woman comes to Queen's Night and they hear and are taught different things, they go out there and exercise it, whether in their homes or in their churches, in their community. They go out there to change the world. And also, it touches other women who are connected with us. When you're empowered, you empower other women in your circle. And we have seen that happening. And another accomplishment is women's self-esteem is raised. And they believe in themselves that, yes, I can.
Oh, fantastic. So, what are the goals for Queen's Night?
Okay, good question, Dr. Catherine. We always have a goal, one, to connect with the local churches and the local pastors and to complement what they do. It is a one-year event, one time in a year's event. So that means when we empower these women, our goal is that they go and empower their churches, and they go to empower their homes. They go to become better wives, better mothers, and better career women. And another goal is that we've been able to connect more and to really go there and find a sister who you can cry to and you can connect with and just learn more about how to better your life as a woman and celebrate womanhood.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So, what are there specific things that chapters have been able to accomplish?
Oh, yes. Specific chapters, all the chapters are doing phenomenal, and I really want to commend all the chapter leaders. They do a great job. It's tough to organize these meetings, and they've been able to touch other women both here and in Kenya by educating the kids who cannot afford school fees, by building women's houses, for example, like in Kansas, we still are in the process of setting up a mental support group because we've realized that that's a great need in the community and in the women of diaspora.
Tell us a little bit about, the concept of Queen's Night, is it just in Kansas City?
No. Queensland has really grown from one little state to 16 states.
Wow.
We call them chapters.
Yes.
So we have 16 chapters.
Yes.
And it's normally through referral. A queen comes from another state and attends a queen's event, and they're like, they are on fire. They're like, oh, we need this in my state. And so we introduce officially to the local pastors in that area, and we set up a committee, and through that we have managed to set up 16 chapters, and it's still growing.
Monica, I know you got a surprise at the Kansas City Queen's Night. What was that surprise? Tell us about it.
I had no clue that such a thing would happen, but it blew my mind when all of a sudden I was just a servant. I was going back and forth, and I told the preacher, you have 5 minutes, we need to wrap up. And within a few seconds I was called on stage, and I didn't know what was happening, but what happened after that just blew my mind and made me know for sure that when you serve the Lord, it is not in vain. And for our listeners, when you serve God, you will surely be rewarded by God. Because I have served queens selflessly, touching one woman at a time. In all the states I've been traveling all over, and it's tiring, it requires commitment, and I've done it without any other agenda other than to touch women's lives. And this night, the surprise came when I was given this award of doctorate in humanities.
Wow.
It wowed me, yes.
So you are now Dr. Monica Kanyebe?
Yes, I am Dr. Monica Kanyebe.
Fantastic. I've seen you sacrifice your family, time with your families, putting your own money over and over and over into the Queen's Ministry, into the chapters, into the different Queen's Nights events, so that women will be empowered. So you have set the example of a great leader, and you've shown that leadership is service. And you have really set an example of an excellent leader, and so you are so deserving of this doctorate, Dr. Monica.
Wow, thank you. May all the glory go unto God. It's all about Him, and I really do appreciate that. And do you want me to talk about something? I think we need to, before we wrap up, that I have served queens as the president since 2010 until this year. And as our viewers are listening, it's important to say that for 6 years, I have served without any reservation. And I have watched you on how you have carried queens at heart. You have been there on the front line. You have carried the burden of women, and I've seen how you have supported the queens, how you supported me individually. And when I was praying to God about the presidency, I did not struggle. I knew that you are the person of the hour. And that was a great moment when I knew that I was transferring the mantle of the presidency, and now we have our new president of Queen's Ministry International USA, Dr. Catherine Franklin.
Baby sister, Dr. Catherine Franklin from Ghana.
Tell me, how did you feel when you received that call?
Oh my goodness, Dr. Monica, I'm still processing this, to be honest with you. When you called me and asked me whether I would consider taking over the presidency after you, I was shocked. it's not something I would ever have imagined. When I came to this ministry in 2014, I fell in love with the mission. I'd never seen anything like this. I'd never seen a ministry that just loved on women, said that they were beautiful. You know, sometimes, and even in this land, sometimes we don't always get told that we are beautiful. And women need that. Women need to know that they are fearfully and wonderfully made. And then the godly empowerment. I love the fact that Queen's ministry is building women so they can go home and build their homes.
Yes.
And whether it is a single household where a woman is still waiting to be married, whether it is a household where a woman has children, or whether it is a household where she has she's married and she is married, or even married with children. You know, the Bible tells us that a wise woman builds her home. And what I have seen with Queen's ministry is that it builds women so they can go and build their homes. And I fell in love with the mission, and I was happy to serve. I was happy to serve in the ministry, and I was happy to serve you because I admired you and I admired what you are doing. So when you asked me, it just blew my mind. It is not something I would have expected. But I remember telling you, please let me pray.
Yes.
Because it is a big responsibility.
It is.
And that requires a lot of courage and a lot of grace. Your shoes are big shoes. I can't even imagine. I cannot feel your shoes. But when I prayed, and I felt the Lord say yes to the work, and so I said yes in humility. I am so humbled. I am so honored to be asked to do this. And I know for a fact that I cannot do this on my own. So I'm trusting God, and I am trusting that God will give me the grace to do the work. And because at the end of the day, Queen's Night is God's mission. And I see Queens as a tool in God's hands to impact women, to empower women, to celebrate women, to raise the standards of women. That at the end of the day, that they can become what God created them to be. So I thank you. I thank you for considering me, and I accept this position very humbly.
Thank you so much. I was so happy. I was jumping up and down when you accepted. And I was like, you know, Dr. Catherine, you are the right person for this work. One, because of your spirit and your heart for women and having worked with Queens for a few years now. Secondly, you are very intelligent. You are a woman of honor, and you are a professional coach. You are an accountant, and I know those things also. I know even going to school and acquiring those is also for ministry. You will use them for ministry, and I know you're the person for this work. And thank you so much for accepting the position. It was very humbling. You took it so humbly, and you saw how the ladies really accepted you, and we are behind you. I know other chapters are coming up. And the doors are open, the nations are open, the work is plenty. So we will support you, and I know all the queens in America will support you.
And I know that it is very important for us to know, to state that you're not leaving. You're President Emeritus, but you continue to be the vision carrier of Queen's ministry in the United States.
Yes.
And you are still in the ministry working, supporting, and helping us mothering the ministry.
Yes.
And so that we can also have a leader we can look up to, and we'll be reaching out to you for your counsel, for your public relations skills, because you're amazing. I watch you. I have watched you, and you're very good with people. So we are still going to be reaching out to you, and I know you will continue helping us because Queen's Night is your baby.
Yes.
And we are all as women. We are your children. And when we go out and succeed, I want you to always know that you planted much in our lives.
Wow, that is so humbling. Yes, I am behind you. I'm there as a support. I am I'll be the mentor, the visionary, vision carrier, and I am there. So, having left the presidency, I am still there, as you said, as the president. Emeritus. And yeah, the work continues.
Yes.
And I know God is with us. We will make it. We have very great chapter leaders who are working with us, and their committees, and our husbands. You know, we cannot do without them. They're the ones who watch those babies, and when we are gone in the field, we really do appreciate them, and I know they are behind our work.
Yes, and I definitely personally want to really thank Pastor Ben Kanyebe, even for two things. One, for the way he has supported you. He has set such an example and a standard for men to see that even as they release their women, to whether it is to be released in ministry or in career, that that at the end of the day that they bring back the blessing back into the home. And so I just love the way he supports you, how he has how his blessing you has raised you to such a great woman of honor, and such a woman who has impacted many women. I thank him for releasing him for you to impact us. Because if he hadn't released you, I personally would not have found my calling. So for me, it is possible. And for the many women who have been impacted, a woman who was prophesied to and she ended up with a baby, a woman who came downtrodden in all her her emotions in a tough place, and she received the support and the comfort. A woman who was given a platform to use their talent. All the women who have been blessed by Queen's Night would not have been blessed if you had not been released to come and do this work. So we thank you, Pastor Ben. You have impacted many women through your life. And then the second thing is I also want to thank him about is for commissioning me, for praying over me today and commissioning me to go do the work. And if he had not accepted your choice, then he would not have released the blessing. So I thank him for even blessing me and praying over me and commissioning me to go do the work. I take that very happy.
Amen. Wow, that is powerful. Yeah, we are blessed to have people, our spouses, who believe in what we do, and even after you prayed and sought God about the position, I know you consulted your husband, and I thank him so much that he has released you to this as well. And I know he believes in what you put your hands on, and he's such a wonderful husband. I've seen him, how he treats you, and in ministry, you will make it. And
so yes, and let me also say thank you so much to Mr. G, Dr. G Gatuka Franklin, who has, yes, he supports me so much, and I know that even in doing this, it's because he said yes, and he's behind me, and he has already been of great support, and I know he became supportive, and so I thank you.